Well, good afternoon. This is Younib TV News at 1. My name is Joseph Kamau.
And I am Mary Ann Gatu. Now, Kenya is mourning the Kenyan Chief Defense Forces CDF Francis Ogolla is dead. President William Ruto has confirmed General Ogolla died on Thursday afternoon after a Kenya Defense Force helicopter crashed in Cedar, Elgeyo Marakwet County. The president said together with the General Ogolla in the crash were 11 other military personnel, 9 who also passed while 2 survived.
Today, at 2:20 p.m., our nation suffered a tragic air accident in Sindar area, Keben location, 3rd Division in Elgeyo Marakwet County. I am deeply saddened to announce the passing on of General Francis Omondi Ogolla, the Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. Together with him in the crash were 11 other gallant military personnel, 9 who also passed on with him, and 2 survivors. The gallant military personnel who passed on with General Ogolla are Brigadier Swale Saidi, Colonel Duncan Keitany, Lieutenant Colonel David Sawe, Major George Benson Magondu, who was also the pilot, Captain Sora Mohammed, Captain Hilary Litali, Senior Sergeant John Kinywa Mureithi, Sergeant Cliffons Omondi, and Sergeant Rose Nyawira. The Chief of Defense Forces on board the Kenya Air Force Hiwi helicopter had left Nairobi this morning to visit troops deployed in the North Rift under the Operation Maliza Uhalifu, and to also inspect the ongoing school renovation works.
Now, President William Ruto has announced 3 days of mourning following the tragic passing of Chief of Defense Forces General Francis Ogolla, who was killed in a helicopter crash on Thursday at Sindar area in Elgeyo Marakwet County, alongside 9 other military personnel. Addressing journalists at State House in Nairobi, where he shared the news of General Ogolla's passing with the nation, President Ruto mourned the late CDF as a gallant military officer and a true patriot who dedicated his life to serving his country with unparalleled honor and distinction.
In honor of the life and the distinguished military career of the fallen general who lost his life not just while in office, but in active military duty, the nation will observe a period of 3 days of mourning commencing tomorrow, the 19th of April, 2024. During this time of national mourning, the Kenya flag, the Kenya Defense Forces flag, the East African Community flag, and flags of all formations of the military shall fly at half-mast in the Republic of Kenya and in Kenya missions abroad. Poleni sana.
Now, the former president, Daniel Arap Moi's daughter, June Moi, has been laid to rest at a family farm in Bahati, Nakuru County. June, who was adopted daughter of second president Daniel Arap Moi, died on Thursday, April 11, 2024, aged at 60. Speaking during the funeral service, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka termed June as a cheerful and charming president's daughter who made them feel comfortable. June was laid to rest at their family farm in Bahati, Nakuru County.
The eulogy, the early life on 1st June 1963. She was a loving daughter of His Excellency the late Daniel Toroitich Moi, CGH, and the late Leonard Tunga Moi. Loving sister to Jennifer Moi Kositany, the late Jonathan Moi, Honorable Raymond Kibruto Moi, John Mark Moi, Philip Moi, Doris Chepkorir Moi, and Honorable Gideon Kipsele Moi. Sister-in-law to Sylvia Moi, Susan Kibruto Moi, Eunice Moi, and Zara Moi. Niece before establishing her business in real estate and general trade. Children. She gave birth to a beautiful girl, Paul Suzanne Chepkemoi, on 19th January 2004. She was a doting mother to her daughter. Hobbies and service. Kept a very active and fit lifestyle by taking up interests were in art, theater. June had a love for travel and traveled to many countries all over the world. She loved fashion and an exquisite taste for designer wear. She loved watching movies at the cinemas, and her genre of movies was Balske, Nollywood, Game of Thrones. She also enjoyed crosswords and Sudoku.
Now, on matters health, Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, has challenged health workers to participate in conversation with the administration in order to end the strike. The healthcare workers' strike, which began on March 14th, has now entered its 5th week. Mudavadi stated that the standoff has resulted in the closure of the said public health across the country and has caused suffering to Kenyans.
The public health system, as the health professionals seek better pay and employment of medical interns.
Here in Kenya, we have made great strides in improving the metrics for our children, particularly in health and education. But our systems are occasionally tested to the core by disruptions that compromise the access and rights of children to quality health services. Presently, we have a crisis now in its 5th week caused by the shutdown of our entire public health system, by medical practitioners or professionals demanding better pay and employment of medical interns. And indeed, I came here also to say that as much as we may have an industrial issue, our partnership with the professionals in the health sector can never be downplayed and should never be underrated. So it is for me to show that in spite of what is going on, we shall have logical dialogue and ultimately be able to resolve the issues that we are facing.
Now we are off to a short break. We'll be back with more news update at 1.
Welcome back. Now, the National Health Insurance Fund Management has shifted the burden to the government-based health facilities for failing to update and communicate on the time about claims that needed to be paid. This comes as NHIF board said that a total of 8.5 billion will be released to settle some outstanding claims.
And the National Assembly Health Committee, on the other hand, has urged for the disbandment of the set in order to raise claim payments to government facility by 20% to 30%. The NHIF's leadership has promised to pay the bulk of valid claims before the Social Health Insurance Fund goes into operation on July the 1st.
When we get substantive information, we shall relay it to the investigative agencies of government without delay.
We had an engagement with the National Treasury, and they have released through the Ministry of Health, State Department for Medical Services, they have released 4 billion this week to facilitate NHIF pay the outstanding claims. We're also going to get additional 1.5 billion from public service, which owes NHIF. That will again go to NHIF, plus other resources that is within the NHIF. We expect a total of about 8.5 billion to pay.
Government do not process claims. If you look at how much has been incurred by a government hospital, but still sitting there, not pushed to the branch to be processed so we can pay, that is where the disconnect is. Okay. And what we have done time and again for the short time I've been in this fund is to sensitize the medical superintendents in these organizations to please process so we have something to pay.
Guided the committee to deal with the NHIF staff as per the transition clauses. So we are waiting for them to develop the staff manuals. Once those manuals, job description have been given, we merge it with the current staff of NHIF. The staff of NHIF are still protected under these transition clauses because they are either deployed in other public service or those who want to retire on their own voluntary under the public service, then they will be allowed because there's a provision for it.
So, we are going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more.
When we get substantive information, we shall relay it to the investigative agencies of government without delay.
We had an engagement with the National Treasury, and they have released through the Ministry of Health, State Department for Medical Services, they have released 4 billion this week to facilitate NHIF pay the outstanding claims. We're also going to get additional 1.5 billion from public service, which owes NHIF. That will again go to NHIF, plus other resources that is within the NHIF. We expect a total of about 8.5 billion to pay.
Government do not process claims. If you look at how much has been incurred by a government hospital, but still sitting there, not pushed to the branch to be processed so we can pay, that is where the disconnect is. Okay. And what we have done time and again for the short time I've been in this fund is to sensitize the medical superintendents in these organizations to please process so we have something to pay.
Guided the committee to deal with the NHIF staff as per the transition clauses. So we are waiting for them to develop the staff manuals. Once those manuals, job description have been given, we merge it with the current staff of NHIF. The staff of NHIF are still protected under these transition clauses because they are either deployed in other public service or those who want to retire on their own voluntary under the public service, then they will be allowed because there's a provision for it.
When we get substantive information, we shall relay it to the investigative agencies of government without delay.
We had an engagement with the National Treasury, and they have released through the Ministry of Health, State Department for Medical Services, they have released 4 billion this week to facilitate NHIF pay the outstanding claims. We're also going to get additional 1.5 billion from public service, which owes NHIF. That will again go to NHIF, plus other resources that is within the NHIF. We expect a total of about 8.5 billion to pay.
Government.
Welcome back. Now Raila Odinga, the leader of Azimio, has urged his supporters to move on from the agony of the 2022 elections loss and focus on developing the party in preparation for the power in 2027, whether or not he is elected as chairman of AUC. Here is the report.
I'm calling on our people to stop mourning and start organizing. Stop mourning and start mobilizing. Stay strong and start moving forward. And we move forward together as one.
We have continued to maintain a critical mass amongst ourselves that is able to keep this government on its toes, despite the fact that they have tried many times to scavenge on our membership.
Most importantly, we need a team whose singular focus is to take this party to power. ODM must rule. The party must reign. We have 2 years to prepare it for that. We must prepare this party to implement this country's the grand visions we hold that have only been delivered in bits and pieces. Out of the protests came the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO, whose report is currently at various stages of implementation. Our position remains that the document is a negotiated settlement that must be implemented in its totality and with speed.
Saizi ya kiatu ya Raila Odinga, mimi nikitia mguu na Oparanya kitia mguu bado hatutoshi.
Mimi ningependa nyinyi hapa muungane na muonyeshe kwamba ODM sio baba. ODM ni wa Kenya. This party will take stern action on those who resort to playing the tribal, gender, regional, religion or racial cards.
Nikitia mguu, mimi nikitia mguu na Oparanya kitia mguu bado hatutoshi.
Mimi ningependa nyinyi hapa muungane na muonyeshe kwamba ODM sio baba. ODM ni wa Kenya. This party will take stern action on those who resort to playing the tribal, gender, regional, religion, or racial cards and character assassination to secure leadership. I particularly appeal to and encourage women to go for leadership positions. I promise to protect and defend their rights to leadership. The gender agenda must begin here in the party.
Now, on matters concerning the fake fertilizer, Kels Chemicals Limited CEO Defesh Patel has added a new twist to the ongoing investigation on the fake fertilizer scam after mentioning prominent names he alleges are aware of who is responsible for the scandal. Among them, as the head of public service Felix Kosgei, Agriculture Principal Secretary Kiprono Rono, his industry counterpart Juma Mukanwa, as well as both KEBS and NCB managing directors. Devesh says he is innocent and his vilification is unfair, while lamenting being harassed by the mentioned individuals.
Me and Collins were called in the meeting with the Mr. Dr. Kipro Rono, who is PS, Agriculture PS, Mr. Esther Gary, Managing Director, Kenya Bureau Standard, Mr. Joseph Kimothy, Managing Director, NCPB, and Dr. Juma Mukwan, Principal Secretary of the State Department of Industry and the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry. 37, the Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Kosgei, he walked into the meeting around 7 p.m. Midst of giving the statement, Ms. Esther Gari, MD of KEBS, interrupting and saying that you are the people making substandard fertilizer. I want you to punish them, Mr. Kosgei, and I'm coming to close your factories. Her statement was there in the meeting. KEBS, you know, the Ms. Esther Gari, she was telling me, no, you, what do you call, unar, means in Kiswahili now, anasema wachana nane ni hii mwindi yote anatangaza mali baya sana. Mimi nataka funga hii factory, nataka kila kitu nikufunge. I'm removing all your licenses and everything. I'm coming to close your factory. So that's why how now, after that, Mr. Kosgei said, let's stop this everything. He called the police and said, take this guy to the cell. Welcome any positive and impartial efforts to the end that the real culprit are identified and appropriate action taken against them. This mark of Cain must be removed from our forehead forthwith.
Now, Kitui Governor Dr. Julius Malombe has denied recent assertions by the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, that Kitui County is the highest spender on the wage bill among Kenyan counties. Speaking during a consultative meeting between the county executive and the county assembly in Mutumo, County Kitui South, Governor Malombe denounced the Controller of Budget's allegations and as inaccurate, emphasizing that they are mispresented by the country's fiscal reality.
Nothing could be further from the truth. To put the record straight, it should be clear to all and sundry that the Kitui County budget for the 2023-2024 financial year amounts to 14 billion.24, which compared it to 5.39 billion, which is at 8%, goes to personnel emoluments, which is salaries, and 3.8 billion, which is 24%, goes for operations and maintenance, and 5.3 billion is, or that 8% is the one which was set aside for development. So far, the county government of Kitui, both the county executive and council assembly, has spent 4 billion Kenya shillings on payment of staff salaries against an approved budget of 14.27 billion, which amounts to 28% of the total budget as opposed to the 75% reported by the Controller of Budget. This is a true position of the expenditure on wages for Kitui County, any other figures being floated elsewhere are just not correct and does not reflect the facts, and we are ready to engage any office on the same.
Now we've come to the end of our today's news desk at 1 p.m. with me, Mary Ann Gato.
And me, Joseph Kamau. And also, we are so sorry about the technical glitch of today. Tomorrow will be better, we promise. And also, here we leave you with the late Ogola's videos and pictures. Good afternoon.
I, General Francis Ogola, Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, do swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya and to the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, that I will obey, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the Republic, and that I will protect and uphold the sovereignty, integrity, and dignity of the people of Kenya, that I will diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, and other influence. In the exercise of the functions entrusted to me, I will at all times, to the best of my ability, respect, uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, people, and Republic of Kenya, and obey all laws, orders, regulations, directions, and instructions concerning Kenya Defense Forces. So help
Yes,